Look, I'm going to be straight with you. We've all been sold this massive lie that looking good is the golden ticket to success, relationships, and happiness. Open Instagram, flip through any magazine, watch any movie. It's always the same story. The beautiful people win. The rest of us? We're supposed to just work harder on our appearance and hope for the best. But here's what nobody tells you. Confidence doesn't just beat looks, it absolutely demolishes it. And I'm not talking about some feel-good motivational poster nonsense. I'm talking about cold, hard reality that plays out every single day in ways most people completely miss. The biology nobody talks about. Let's start with something fascinating. When you meet someone confident, your brain does something incredible. Within milliseconds, we're talking less time than it takes to blink, your amygdala lights up. This is the part of your brain that processes emotions and social cues. It's ancient, primal, and it doesn't care about your logical thoughts. A confident person triggers safety signals in other people's brains. Think about our ancestors for a second. If someone in your tribe was confident, what did that usually mean? It meant they had survived. They had skills. They knew something you didn't. Confidence was a proxy for competence, and competence meant survival. Now here's where it gets wild. That same confident person, their brain is flooded with different chemicals than someone who's insecure. Higher testosterone, lower cortisol. This creates a feedback loop. They feel good, which makes them act more confidently, which makes others respond positively, which makes them feel even better. It's an upward spiral. Compare that to someone who's physically attractive but insecure. Sure, you might notice them first, but within 30 seconds of interaction, if they're fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, or constantly seeking validation, your brain starts sending warning signals. Something's off. This person might look good, but they don't feel good to be around. The charisma factor. Here's something I've noticed watching people for years. Charisma and looks operate on completely different wavelengths. I know guys who look like they walked off a magazine cover. Perfect jawline, great hair, fit body, the whole package. But put them in a room and they disappear. Nobody remembers them. Nobody feels drawn to them. Why? Because they're waiting for their looks to do the work. They never develop the personality to match. Then there's this other type of person. Maybe they're average looking. Maybe they're even below average by conventional standards. But when they walk into a room, something shifts. People turn. Conversations pause. Everyone wants to be near them, talk to them, be associated with them. What's the difference? Confident people make other people feel good about themselves. Read that again, because it's the key to everything. When you're confident, you're not worried about how you look or what people think of you. This frees up all your mental energy to actually pay attention to others. You ask better questions. You listen more carefully. You make people feel seen and heard. And humans are absolutely addicted to feeling seen and heard. Beautiful people who lack confidence, they're usually so trapped in their own heads, so worried about maintaining their image that they can't genuinely connect. Every conversation becomes transactional. Every interaction is filtered through, what do they think of me? For them, you might sabotage a relationship because you're convinced she'll leave you for someone better. You might withdraw from friendships with guys you perceive as more successful because being around them makes you feel inadequate. The workplace reality. Let's talk about something practical, your career. Study after study shows the same pattern. Confident people get promoted faster, earn more money, and are given more opportunities, regardless of their appearance. In fact, one Harvard study found that confidence could account for up to 40% of career success metrics, while physical attractiveness only contributed about 5 to 7%. Why such a massive gap? Because in professional settings, Confidence translates directly to leadership. When you're confident, you speak up in meetings. You pitch ideas without apologizing for them. You negotiate harder for yourself. You take calculated risks. You recover from failures faster because you don't see them as reflections of your worth. I've watched this play out countless times. The good-looking person gets hired first, sure. Initial impressions favor them, but 6 months later, the confident person has been promoted. They've built relationships across departments. They've become indispensable. Meanwhile, the attractive but unconfident person is still waiting to be noticed, hoping their appearance will carry them further than it actually can. Here's the brutal truth. Your looks might get you in the door, but confidence builds your career. And in the long run, it's not even close. Relationships and attraction. Now let's address the elephant in the room: dating and relationships. Yes, physical attraction matters. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't. But here's what happens in the real world, not the fantasy version we see in media. Confidence is attractive on a level that supersedes physical appearance. Period. Think about the most magnetic people you know, the ones who always seem to have options, who never lack for attention or interest. Are they always the best looking? Hell no. But they carry themselves like they are. There's actual science behind this. When someone displays confidence, it signals genetic fitness in ways that go beyond physical symmetry. It shows emotional stability, social competence, and the ability to handle stress, all things that made our ancestors better partners and protectors. But more than that, confident people are simply more fun to be around. They're spontaneous. They make decisions easily. They don't need constant reassurance. They bring energy to situations rather than draining it. Compare that to someone who's physically stunning but constantly insecure. They need endless validation. They're jealous. They're suspicious. They're exhausting. Even if you're initially attracted to them, that attraction fades fast when you realize every interaction requires you to be their therapist. The most successful relationships I've seen, they're not between the two best-looking people. They're between people who are confident enough to be vulnerable, strong enough to be kind, and secure enough to let their partner shine. The compound effect. Here's where confidence really separates itself from looks. It compounds over time, while looks depreciate. This sounds harsh, but it's reality. Physical appearance peaks and then declines. It's biology. No matter how much you fight it with skincare, exercise, or surgery, time wins. But confidence? Confidence grows. Every challenge you overcome makes you more confident. Every risk you take builds your courage. Every time you fail and recover, you prove to yourself that you're resilient. By the time you're 40, 50, 60 years old, confidence can be at an all-time high, while looks have long since faded. Think about the most impressive older people you know. What makes them impressive? It's rarely their appearance. It's the way they carry themselves, the wisdom in their eyes, the calm certainty in their voice, the ease with which they navigate social situations. That's decades of built-up confidence. And here's the beautiful part. You can start building confidence today, right now, this moment. You can't dramatically change your appearance overnight, at least not in any healthy way. But you can make one confident choice today. You can speak up in that meeting. You can approach that person you want to talk to. You can set a boundary you've been afraid to set. Each small act of confidence builds the next one. The perception shift. There's something almost magical that happens when you become truly confident. People start seeing you as more physically attractive. This isn't just psychological, though there is a psychological component. This is about how confidence changes your physical presence. Confident people stand taller. They make more eye contact. They smile more genuinely. They move with purpose. all of these things literally make you more attractive to look at. I've seen people transform in front of my eyes. Same face, same body, same clothes, but completely different energy. And suddenly everyone's asking, did they lose weight? Did they change their hair? Something's different. What's different is internal, but it radiates outward so powerfully that people perceive it as physical change. Meanwhile, I've also seen the opposite. Beautiful people who become insecure somehow start looking less attractive. Their beauty becomes almost invisible because it's overshadowed by their negative energy. The freedom factor. Here's maybe the most important thing. Confidence gives you freedom that looks never can. When you base your value on your appearance, you're a slave to the mirror. Every new wrinkle is a crisis. Every bad angle is devastating. You're constantly comparing yourself to others, to your younger self, to impossible standards. But when your value comes from confidence, from knowing who you are and being comfortable with it, you're free. Free to age naturally. Free to focus on things that actually matter. Free to take risks without worrying about looking foolish. Free to be genuinely yourself instead of carefully curating an image. This freedom is magnetic. People are drawn to it because most people are trapped in their own insecurities. Someone who's genuinely free stands out like a lighthouse. The bottom line. Look, I'm not saying appearance doesn't matter at all. Take care of yourself. Dress well. Exercise. Practice basic hygiene. These things show respect for yourself and others. But don't confuse taking care of your appearance with building your life around it. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that if you just looked better, everything would fall into place. It won't. Real power, in career, in relationships, in life, comes from confidence. It comes from knowing your worth isn't dependent on how you look in a particular outfit or from a certain angle. It comes from being so secure in yourself that you can focus outward instead of inward. The beautiful thing, while everyone else is obsessing over their looks, spending hours on social media, thousands on beauty products, and countless mental energy on insecurity, you can be building real confidence, real skills, real relationships, real value. And 10 years from now, when you look back, you'll realize something profound. The confidence you built didn't just beat looks. It created a life that no amount of physical beauty ever could have. So stop waiting until you look perfect to start living confidently. Start now. Start today. Start with the next decision you make, because every moment you spend worrying about your appearance is a moment you could have spent becoming the kind of person others naturally gravitate toward. That's not just more effective than good looks. It's an entirely different game. And it's a game you can actually win.